Hi, I'm Shanika Center. I am the Virtual Content Specialist for Middle School Science for multilingual learners and English language learners. This is the last video of the video sequence for lessons of week of April 23rd. This is the video that gives students an opportunity to determine the genotype and phenotype of their potential monster offspring. This material comes from Unit 4, Day 29. The previous videos address concepts from Day 27 and 28. So this video is the third and final video in this lesson sequence. Hi, I'm Shanika Center. I am the Virtual Content Specialist for Middle School Science for multilingual learners and English language learners. Today, we are going to finally determine what the genotype and phenotype of our monster offspring are. This video is for your material and activities for Unit 4, Day 29. Before we get started, let's review some vocabulary and concepts that we're going to need for this lesson. So offspring, this is a word that we discussed in our previous lesson, but offspring is just a fancy word for baby. So last lesson, you determined the genotype or the potential genotype of your monster offspring. You did this by crossing the genotypes of parent number 1 and parent number 2 in a Punnett square. Your Punnett squares should look like this. Your genotypes may be a little bit different, but you should have all of the boxes filled in with different letters. In today's lesson, we're going to take the information here, the genotypes in the yellow boxes, to create potential offspring. So remember, in these yellow boxes, the letters that are there represent the alleles of the organism. We're going to use our Punnett squares from last lesson to create 2 potential offspring. You're going to write the genotype of the potential offspring in the yellow boxes. I'm going to show you an example of how to do this. So let's say this is the result of the crossing between parent 1 and parent 2, me and my partner. I'm going to look only at the yellow boxes. We're going to start with head shape. So I have different options of what I would like to pick as my genotype. For the first offspring, potential offspring, I'm going to pick big H, little h. So I'm going to go back to this slide, and in this allele box for head shape, I'm going to type big H, little h. Then I'm going to go to the mouth features, and I'm going to pick from all of these options. So I'm going to pick this one, big T, little t. I'm going to go to the mouth features box and put in those alleles. Then I'm going to go to number of eyes, and for number of eyes, I only have one option, little e, little e. So that is what I'm going to put in this box. You cannot make up different allele combinations. You're only using the alleles and genotypes that you created when you mated or crossed both of your parents. So once you finish offspring number 1's genotype, it should look something like this. You may have different allele combinations. Now I'm going to go to offspring number 2 and do the same thing. Starting with head shape, I'm going to look at the head shape box. And this time I'm going to pick little h, little h. So go back to the slide, type little h, little h. Now I'm going to go to mouth features, and this time I'm going to pick big T, big T. So I'm going to type in big T, big T. And finally, number of eyes. Again, we only have one option, so the number of eye alleles are going to be little e, little e. So now that I have both allele charts filled out, I'm going to go to slide number 34 to determine the phenotypes of my offspring. So same thing that you did when you were creating your parents, you're going to do this, you're going to use this chart to determine the characteristics or the phenotypes of your monster offspring. So my first one for offspring number 1, head shape, big H, little h. So I'm going to look for the big H, little h, and I found the blue circle. So I'm going to copy and paste that into my box here. Then I'm going to look for the mouth features. I have big T, little t, and that is tongue out. So I'm going to copy that and put that in my monster's head, on my monster's head. And now the last one, number of eyes, I have little e, so that is the recessive trait, and I'm going to copy and paste that onto my monster. Perfect. So now I have one of my 2 offspring complete. I'm not going to repeat this process, but you will create 2 offspring with your partner. The final part of this lesson is an opportunity for you to show how your offspring got its traits. You're going to copy and paste the information for parent number 1's phenotype and genotype into this box here, into these boxes here. Then you're going to copy and paste the information for parent 2's phenotype and genotype in the box here. Then finally, you're going to copy and paste your offspring's phenotype and genotype in the box here. I know we created 2 offspring, but you're just going to pick whichever one you like best and copy and paste it here. Then you're going to use these arrows to show where each of the traits came from. Do not worry, I'm going to show you how to do this. So I copy and pasted the information from the slides, the previous lesson slides, towards the bottom of this lesson, just so it's easier. You may have to go back through your lesson to find this information, but it should all be there. So my monster, I'm going to say I was partner 1, so I'm going to copy and paste my monster into this box. You may have to reformat the size, but it's okay if it doesn't look perfect. Then you're going to copy and paste the alleles from your monster's genotype. Then you're going to copy and paste it into this box here. You're going to repeat that with your partner's information. Now I'm going to create one of the monster offspring that I created. You can again pick whichever one you think looks coolest or whichever one you like best. So you're going to copy and paste it into the offspring box. And same thing, copy the alleles and paste them to the boxes. Now you're going to take these arrows and point to the parent's traits and the offspring's traits. You can just point to the alleles. You do not have to point to the phenotypes or the physical traits. Your final slide should look similar to mine. Your monsters may be different and the alleles may be different, but you should have 3 pictures of monsters, 3 sets of genotypes, and arrows indicating where you got each of the traits from. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your teacher.